thought I'd make a little short video. Put a cab on my Kubota here. This is just one of those plastic tops that you can get. They're just the tops and they mount on your roll bar. Well, I just went from there and framed it in here. I've still got to put the skirts on the doors, but we've got a windshield wiper in there, and I went and put one of those Jegs heaters in here, and boy, that's a whale of a heater. Really puts out some heat. I haven't had the tractor up to operating temperature yet, but still doing some wiring and hiding of the hoses. But I took the heater hoses and ran them on the back side of that row bar here. Run them down, followed them down the frame, stood as high as I could. Didn't want to touch bottom because we're out into the woods and always under brush and stuff, so we didn't want to drag anything. But I had them come up through here, teed in. Still using the original hose, had to shorten it a little bit. I still have my heater in it for cold starts. But one of the little secrets that nobody says anything about, it's a real booger if you want to try to put that hose onto the water port there on your thermostat housing. It's real easy if this muffler wasn't there, but it's a 3/8 plug with a hex screw socket thing on it. But I was fortunate enough that those bolts came right loose, come off, didn't ruin the gasket, and you can plumb that thing right in with a 90 and save you a whole lot of hassle and not have to take the hood off to get to it. So that's one of the things I found out there. Otherwise, it seems that this little water pump pumps enough water through those hoses to get me the heat that I need up here. So I'll post later in the season when we find out what minus 30 below does and see how much that works or not. But otherwise, that's what it is. And also, if I use Plexiglass, which is not a good idea. Use something like polycarbonate or something with a real hard finish on it, because it scratches real easy. But for this season, I'm just going to run it this way and see what happens. I made the windshield to where it comes off, so just remember, these tractors, this is the gear-driven standard transmission thing. They do come apart to do your clutch. So I made it to where the cab will come off, the doors come off real easy. But this little part right up here just folds out and comes off. And then the cab just stays where it is, and it bolts down through here on the frame and the fenders, and you just back it off and the cab stays put. So you don't have to take off the cab. You just got to replace the front windshields. I figured with the clumsiness, every once in a while a rock coming out of the bucket hits the window, I needed to be able to replace it. So it's just bolt on there at the top, pivots out, and then you undo the bolt here, and it just comes right out this slide. This part of the windshield and this little brace right here, this stays, but this comes out, and the windshield's all intact. Takes two people so you don't scratch stuff up. Hope that helps if someone's trying to put one of those jig heaters in a Kubota. Oh yeah, before I forget, I stayed away from the wiring of the Kubota and just wired me a little fuse box up here and wired off of the positive, and stayed completely away from the electricity or the wiring of the Kubota. So if anything goes wrong, it's just from there to the switches, and that's it. So I don't have to worry about trying to blow something else up. And I had all the lights on and the heater going full blast. Everything seems to be able to keep up.